Hey, welcome to the Lockdown Economy in the Netherlands. We are a social non-profit initiative by the think tank AlterContacts to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. My name is Rosie Allison, and today our guest is Floor van der Steen. She's the co-founder of Max's Organic Mints, and they're a confectionery company that produces sustainable, vegan, and 100% natural mints on a mission. Floor, I'm really excited to have you with us today. Like I said, I haven't done a confectionery company, a mint producers before on the Lockdown Economy. So how are you?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. Well, given the situation, I guess I'm good. And how about you?
Yeah, I think that's the standard answer these days. Given the situation, I'm not too bad.
No.
So tell us a little bit more about Max's Mints. When did you start and how are you doing as a company at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So I founded Max's Organic Mints together with my father, Peter, back in 2017. And we did that basically because we want to give consumers a nudge towards more sustainable consumption, like helping them green up with something small as a mint. And what we tried to do when we were developing Max's Organic Mints was make a product that is as sustainable as possible, but then at the same time is tasty enough and attractive enough to seduce those type of customers that don't normally really do sustainable groceries. So that's why we put them in, maybe, I don't know if you've seen them. We put them in tin cans that, right, in my opinion, look quite attractive.
Yeah, definitely.
We have them in 6 flavors. So there's something for everyone, for every type of palate. And then we make them as sustainable as possible. So they're organic, like you said, and also 100% natural. We don't use gelatin in it, which is not a standard in mint. And then they're being packaged by this sheltered employment. I don't know if that's the correct word in English, but in a sheltered employment type of situation. So yeah, we try to like make it a better product on each part of the production process and sell it then, of course, so we can make a difference.
Yeah, brilliant. It sounds like a great initiative, something different for sure. And so when you were thinking of starting a sustainable company, why did you choose mints? Why were mints the first thing that came to mind?
Well, I have a background in the organic food sector. So I used to work at this organic or sustainable retail chain here in the Netherlands. And then I started it together with my father, Peter, who has a background in confectionery. So he, for example, used to be in gum. Mm-hmm. So basically with his confectionery viewpoint and my sustainable food viewpoint, we just went into the supermarkets together and took a look at the confectionery shelf to see where do we see that innovation is already happening and people are trying to make a better product, and where do we think there's room for improvement. And that led us to making Max's Mints, because we saw that at least in the Netherlands, the brands that are in the mint section, I mean, they've been around for somewhere between 100 and 30 years. And it's not brands that, with what is necessarily something wrong, but we just thought we could do better. So that's
great.
Why.
Yeah. And tell us a bit about the structure of Max's Mints. So you are, how many employers do you have? Where's your production line? Things like this.
Yeah, well, we're very small still. So Peter and I, we started the company together, and then Peter, he's responsible for finance and the strategy we do together. And then I'm responsible for marketing and sales. And we have Dominique, who is responsible for operations and distribution, etc., towards customers. And then there's always 1 or 2 interns helping out, for example, with the internationalization or the marketing or whatever needs attention at the moment. And what we do producing Max's Mints is we have several production partners. So we have a production partner for the tin cans in China. They produce it in China and then ship it by boat to the Netherlands. And then the mint producer, it's our flavors, but we have it produced by a second party, is here in the Netherlands. And also in the Netherlands, we have the sheltered employment. So basically we just manage all the different relations and then bring it all together to have it assembled and ultimately have it here in the warehouse.
Sure.
Ready.
And so at the start of the pandemic, when obviously things began to shut down in almost a year ago now, what were the effects on your production line, on your employees? How did Max's Mints overcome these challenges?
Yeah, well, what just happened, we had just hired Dominic, like I think 2 weeks before COVID started. And we were at this trade fair in Germany. And we had just received a message from our tin can producer saying, okay, so we've got this virus here and, you know, I don't know if we'll be able to make any cans for you in the near future. And we were talking to big customers and thinking, okay, so how are we going to solve this? Like in a while, we might have very big customers, but no product to deliver. And we didn't even think it would be possible that we'd have the same problem, of course, because, you know, that's something that we'd never seen before, like many of the people you've spoken to probably. So it took a couple of weeks to realize that the production wasn't going to be the problem, but the customers were. And how we overcame it, I think if you look at our product and the customers, like we don't sell to end consumers, we sell to retailers. And what we do here in the Netherlands, we sell mainly to organic retailers, so Ecoplaza, for example, Markt, etc. And we were just trying to make a shift towards more on-the-go type of locations, such as train stations and gas stations, because I think that's where the biggest impact can be made. But those are the locations that obviously closed down. So we had to make some shift there. So for us, it was important last year to reconsider which types of channels would then be suitable to try and offer our mints to, which led us to, for example, starting at health food stores such as Holland and Barrett. I don't know if you know them.
Yeah.
And then also try to see if we could find other organic retailers out of the Netherlands, because I mean the supermarkets, they were still open. So we started at this big supermarket in Germany by the end of last year. So we just had to put some of our plans on hold, but well, others luckily did go through. And then we have good hopes for this year that maybe the on-the-go sector might still be an option for us.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And that's interesting to hear how you were able to see the situation, see the places that were closing, and you were able to, you were flexible and change the places where you were selling your mints so that you could keep them in places that were open. I think that's a good tip for anybody selling things like this at the moment. So with Max's Mints, it's I would say sustainable, maybe a slightly luxury product. And during the pandemic, obviously, many people losing their jobs, less disposable income. Did you change your marketing strategy at all to try to make sure people understood that to keep buying sustainably, even in this period, is important?
Yeah, well, first of all, I've also been on pregnancy leave during last year. So, and marketing is my thing. So marketing has been a little bit on how do you call that? On the
back foot.
Exactly. But at the same time, I think you're right. I mean, I think what you see right now is like two directions it's heading regarding to consumption. I mean, on the one hand, there's indeed a lot of people who have less disposable income, but on the other hand, I also think that people are more and more aware of what they're eating and that it's important how it's been made. As of course, this is something, the whole pandemic is something that happened out of our food, basically. So I think that, yeah, well, like I just said, there's two different directions this is heading, because I believe, and I've heard many people saying that they become more and more aware of our footprint on the earth and how we are responsible for what is happening, basically. And and of course we more and more try to explain, why Max's Mints makes it different. That using us means that there won't be, piles of single-use plastic piling up somewhere in the sea or whatever. But it's also a difficult story to tell because we have such a small such a small product with so little space to tell the story, and it's very impulse driven also. I mean, you buy mints when you're somewhere, you see it at a cashier and you like it, but it's not really something such as, I don't know, like a dress or something that you look up online and you look for all the characteristics. It's different. So it's always a challenge for us to figure out how to get across why Max's Mints is a better product.
Yeah, definitely. It's a challenge for the future. So tell us a bit more about how your business is going right now in the current state, where hopefully coming to the end of what is it, the third lockdown now. So how are you doing in the current situation?
Well, quite good. I think what we've seen is we've lost some customers last year, particularly ones in like cafes, etc. We were, for example, selling through Starbucks in Poland, but when they close down, their focus just shifts also when they open again. So, well, like I just told you, we went more into the specialty retail, such as the health food stores. But for now, also last year, we've worked on expanding our assortment so that we have products for every type of situation. So we have mints that you put in your bag, like the tin can that just fits your bag, and then we have those that fit your pocket, and now we added one that fits that you put on your desk. Maybe I can show you. It's like a bigger,
slightly bigger.
Yeah, so I think that's something we've worked on, and yeah, as of this moment, now that we see that the pandemic is slowly, I don't want to be too positive yet, but maybe reducing a bit, that we'll be working again with the customers that they want to make a fresh start once this is over, and do that also with a fresh and sustainable assortment.
Great. So thank you very much for sharing your insights with us today, how you've diversified your strategy slightly, you've diversified your product as well, and also on the marketing side, very important to spread this story of the sustainability of your product. But as always with a small business, there are things that you need help with. Yes. So in the current climate with Max's Organics Mints, if you could share some things that maybe you need some help with, what would they be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, as a small company, we need help with everything and anything. And at the same time, we're also very self-sufficient because, you're so small and flexible that it's easy to make changes. But what is maybe most difficult for us is that just entering with a new product onto a market is difficult because everyone is looking, all the retailers are looking at each other. Who's going to be first? Who dares to make the step, especially for a product like ours, because usually it will be put on cashiers and the space is very limited and the rotations are very high. And with an unknown product, it's very uncertain what kind of rotations you'll have, what kind of sales the retailer will have. So I think it would help to have retailers who are daring, who want to make a change and who are willing to make the first step. And I think personally, I need help with, trying to explain why it's important and get across this message of let's do this together and why not be the change to help customers green up. And so I think, yeah, the most part we need help with is the actual sales. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a co-founder who's passionate about her product, and that might be enough. It might also not be. We'll have to see about that. I think that's the most important part, really.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we're trying to do here in the lockdown economy is make sure that small businesses are able to network and to find the help they need. So if anyone is out there that is a sales expert and can get in touch with Floor, then I'm sure she'd be very, very grateful to hear your tips. So below this video, I will link some contact details for Floor and Max's Mints so that you can check out the product and also get in touch if you have any questions. Just finally, I know myself, I'm very keen to try the ginger mints. So where can we buy them at the moment?
Well, here in the Netherlands, so at Ecoplaza, for example, or Holland and Barrett, there's quite some cafes, etc. But that's all small throughout the country. So if you want to be in one of the big chains, I think Ecoplaza or Holland and Barrett would be your best guesses.
Brilliant. Definitely, I'm gonna head out and buy one.
And actually, after like the standard version, which is menthol, ginger is our bestseller.
Yeah, well, I've never seen that before, but it sounds really, really fresh. I think it would be nice after a cup of coffee.
And spicy.
Exactly, yeah. So Flo, thank you very much for sharing your insights with us today. I invite everybody who's watching to like this video and to subscribe to the AlterContacts YouTube channel, because in the coming weeks and months, we're going to have many more small businesses sharing their insights with you. Flo, do you have any final words for anybody who may be watching?
Well, no, thank you for listening. And I hope you'd like to green up with our mints.
Brilliant message. Thank you very much, Flo.
Thank you.